Any of the views expressed in this show do not represent the views or opinions of those participating. We are merely observers.
Please do not reenact any of the stories you hear on our show.
Being featured on our show is not something to be proud of.
And as always, please drink responsibly.
Cleveland accordion, Cleveland apple picking, Cleveland hot waffle. They got them all on here.
The Cleveland Hot Waffles. Sign me right up. Welcome to another episode of Laps and Drafts. My name is Jason Thomas, your resident fancy boy.
This is Jared, your learning man.
This is Tim, the old man.
This is Ethan, the one who can't find a home.
One who can't find a home,
Doesn't
man.
have a name. I don't have a name.
I'm really getting
Just
tired.
changes a lot.
I would appreciate if you would come up with a final name at some point in time in your life.
No.
For those who have never listened to our show before, we go over strange news stories, and then we cover a few different beers, talk about what we do and do not like about them. So we're going to go ahead and get right into the first story. This one is from Jacksonville.com. So, man, you know it's good when they've got a whole site claimed to itself. The headline reads, Florida man claiming to be agent of God caught carrying rattlesnake on Jacksonville Beach. A homeless man who claimed to be an agent of God was found walking around with a large rattlesnake in Jacksonville Beach Monday morning, according to the Jacksonville Beach Police Department. Sergeant Larry Smith told First Coast News that they received calls about a man carrying the snake, which measured about 6 feet to 8 feet in length. After officers arrived on the scene, they told the man to throw the snake inside their police vehicle. Police called the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation, which they safely captured the snake. They said it was to relocate the snake to a natural environment. At this time, there is no word why the homeless man was carrying a snake or if he got injured while holding it. Out of the 44 species of snakes to Florida, or native to Florida, only 6 are venomous, including 3 rattlesnake, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, the dusty pygmy rattlesnake, and the timber rattlesnake.
Urban Dictionary, dusty pygmy.
Yeah, dusty pygmy rattlesnake.
Look that up.
Give me the dusty pygmy.
That's not the name for something. Well, you better find a name. You better find it out.
I'm going to make it up.
So I think, but if
Was he on the beach?
Yeah, he was on the
Okay.
beach. So homeless dude on the beach carrying a snake.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't the whole like snake handling that's like a form of religion, right, or a sect
Religious
of religion?
ritual.
Isn't that like
Yeah, ritual or something like.
isn't that among the Pentecostals or the
Snake handling?
Snake
yeah, the
handling?
Pentecostals. Yeah, they'll do
don't
that.
they do that?
Holy rolling.
So, but that's he didn't get bit. So that means what? Because I know there's like some specific meaning. Like if you don't get bit, then you know something about
The snake's in love with him.
yeah, snakes. The snake wants to give him the old Cleveland waffle.
Hot waffle.
Or the Mississippi mud ride.
Yeah, the Mississippi mud ride. Gosh. All the things we did back in our glory days, for me, just yesterday.
Glory hole days.
Well, what
Not
could be,
exactly glory hole
what could be
days.
a better
I
habitat
like
for
to
a
make eye
snake
contact.
Gotcha.
than sand and water?
Yeah, I know. That's the snake's natural habitat.
I mean, away from
beach.
people. Just say away from people.
Yeah.
Don't say away from in
I don't
natural
think
habitat.
snakes mix with people in general usually very well.
No.
What was it? There was a story one time I heard of this lady who was complaining about her said her snake wasn't, or what was it? Her snake wasn't eating. That's what it was. And she took it to the
she
vet.
would lay
And
flat.
The size
it
of the
was
wasn't
her up.
well, it was dislocating its,
It was like
getting its body ready
Yeah, it was
to
To
basically
consume
eat
her.
her.
starving herself. So
Which I was
by
like,
itself.
you can't
That's
trust
terrifying.
snakes. Doesn't matter what they do or how cute they look. They're always just sizing you up and getting ready to eat you. That's all they do.
yeah. That's it. You just
Yeah,
one
and,
big giant rat.
You're just one big giant rat. Jared Landis, 2019.
That's right.
Take us
Starting
away
this
to
year
our
off
next
right.
story.
Dirty rat.
Man makes entire house pink. Says neighbors can't do anything about it.
You can
This
always
is-
burn his house down.
This is from Pflugerville, Texas. Pflugerville.
Texas has been popping up on the radar a
I
lot.
love
lately.
that. Pflugerville.
Pflugerville.
For Pflugerville.
Pfluger.
That's real.
A Texas neighborhood is in an uproar over a Pepto Bismol full-on flamingo Pink Panther pink house. But the homeowner doesn't care what his neighbors or anyone else thinks. Emilio Rodriguez says he's just my favorite color.
Hey, man.
Rodriguez bought his home in November when it had a plain shade of white. Now the walls are pink, the gutters are pink, the roof is pink, the chimney is pink.
Holy crap.
It's all pink. I did the back first, the whole back of the house. Then I did the whole house. Rodriguez loves pink so much, he showed off the large pink tattoos he has across his chest and neck.
What?
He said a house painted like this was his dream home. And he said annoyed neighbors aren't going to faze him. He chose his neighborhood particularly because there was no homeowners
Yeah, so I was
association
wondering.
to block him. No HOA. No HOA. I pre-planned this specifically because of that reason.
Stop!
Hey, you can do the Mexican Batman.
No.
I can do that voice.
Batman?
Yeah, you did Batman. He said, so when people get mad, I explain there is no HOA here. After a car accident and years of health problems left him in a wheelchair, Rodriguez says the pink house is part of the Keep Austin Weird vibe.
Oh, man, that's great. I don't know why that just makes me laugh. It's like stuck in. They had to throw that in there. Oh yeah, and there was an accident. He's stuck in a wheel.
He
So you're
painted
like,
his
that
own
son
house.
of a, and then you're like, oh, well, that's fine.
He painted his own house.
How
Think
did
about
he get
that. In
to
a
the
wheelchair.
chimney? How did he get to the
Like when
the
you do
chimney?
windows, if you get those, like,
long poles?
Long
I don't think it
poles?
works like that.
maybe he paid someone. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He just paid,
Paint my house
one of his
pink.
buddies to paint it. That's what people are saying. They're like, why are people so freaked out? Have they ever been to Austin, he said? Neighbors who disagree may turn to a lawsuit to try to press the issue.
Oh,
Rodriguez,
God.
though, doesn't see the big deal. I love this house, he said. I don't know why people don't like it. It is a bit of an eyesore, though. That is a picture.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it stands out for sure. It's pink.
I feel like
It
if he
is
hadn't done the
pink.
roof, it wouldn't have been as bad.
Oh,
but
no.
the whole thing is a little much.
Whole thing's pink.
That is Pepto in house form. That is extreme. But
I wonder what color the inside of the house is.
Probably blue.
it's plain white.
Yeah.
Like the outside of his house. I don't want any
contrast,
color in
yeah.
here. Keep it very
This is
minimal
not a
in
house of
here.
color.
Then you know you're being a jerk if your whole house is pink, but the inside is just like a regular
Normal.
color.
Decorate. It's like
normal.
all neutral colors. I like to, be able to get
Like my earthy
pieces in and
tones.
out.
I like to go outside and scream from time to time and shoot my guns into the sky, but when I come inside, it's time for reading. It's quiet time.
Quiet time, yeah.
Time to relax. And
We're civilized people here.
we're not civilized people at all. Get some biscuits and become a biscuit eater.
You son of a biscuit eater. Repaint your house.
No, I
That's
don't
awesome.
know. I think more power to you. If you're going to paint your house, go big or go home. Painting your house isn't fun
Pink.
anyways, so Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
This
Factory.
is premeditated too. It wasn't just like a random idea he had. He's like, "Oh, I'm crippled. Now I'm gonna paint my house pink." It was like he looked for the neighborhood with no homeowners association, and he was just like, "Yep, I'm gonna do that." I don't
Said
know
he
what
was in a
color my
car
house is gonna
accident?
be, but
Was it a car accident?
car accident?
Yeah, I think you said it was a car accident.
it?
that
He's
left him
like-
crippled.
Yeah.
Wrecked my car, looked down, realized I was staring at my butt. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to walk anymore, but I really want a pink house.
He went with the first color that he saw when he woke up, and it was his butthole, and he was like, "Pink."
I like
Pink,
that
that's
pink.
what
I'm
gonna
so
do.
proud of
When he
this.
regained consciousness, he's like, "I'm gonna paint my house this color." Oh man,
Yeah,
this is bad.
I don't think. It's still like your butthole's not that color pink. I don't care who you are.
His was.
No, there's no way. Even if you drink nothing but Pepto Bismol
I
for
got
like
red
months,
tint.
you got.
a red tint to it.
I mean, if there was a little bit more red in there, I would say you were correct. That
Well, I
it's
got
butthole
hemorrhoids,
color.
so
That's a very clean butthole if it's pink.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless you're like one of the Hollywood people and like to bleach your own butthole and something along those lines.
I don't know if I get a Brazilian. Maybe he got a Brazilian right before he got into his car accident. He's nice and fresh, and it's almost like got a rash from it, and then got into a car accident. No, we're not going with this. Okay. All right.
We've gone
Okay.
so far
All right.
down
No,
this.
no, it's fine.
Like, it's
It's
got to
fine.
be.
No, that's cool.
He got this color idea from his butthole.
Hey,
There's no other way
Hey.
around it.
I have a plan, and I'm going to stick to it. Do not
He didn't
derail
just
from.
like pink.
Do not
No,
deviate
no.
from the plan.
Don't deviate from the plan.
He's sticking with it.
Oh man! All right, let's just go ahead and get to our next story. I've talked about enough buttholes for today.
All right, let's go down to Florida here. Florida man arrested
That's
for
my favorite
allegedly.
It's a favorite state.
Yours and mine both. Throwing a live alligator into Wendy's drive-through window. Already funny.
That's the currency down there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
It
his
is the
payment.
currency.
It's just alligators.
They're
They
everywhere.
can't count really well, so it's just, you got an alligator? That'll
How,
work.
how many alligators is this worth? One, two alligator.
You can pay with pesos or you can pay with alligator skin. or
gosh.
dollars.
Or snakeskin.
Or snakeskin. Says Joshua James has been arrested after allegedly tossing a 3.5-foot alligator into Wendy's drive-through window. Juniper, Florida resident pulled up to the drive-thru, received a drink from an employee, and then threw the reptile into the restaurant, according to a report from Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. The incident occurred in October. The suspect was recently taken into custody by U.S. Marshals.
This is bad enough. We need to get the U.S. Marshals involved. This alligator-related crime. You know, that's our national animal down here, or state animal down here in Florida. It's the alligator.
Showing no respect.
Yeah, show respect to our
I'm not getting no respect.
I don't get no respect. No respect.
Says James admitted to having picked up the alligator alongside the road, had been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, illegally killing, possessing, or capturing an alligator, and second-degree larceny, theft, according to Palm Beach Sheriff's Office.
I mean, technically, if you throw an alligator through a window, and the alligator assaults people, are you assaulting the people? Does it come back on you, or should it be on the alligator's shoulders for assaulting people?
I feel like if it touched, like, so isn't there like a law that if something flies off of somebody's car, let's say on the interstate, and it hits the ground before it hits your car, it's no longer liable on that person?
That's what I understand. Yeah.
So it's the same rule for an alligator. As long as it touched something else.
If it hits the drive-through window and hits somebody in the face,
right.
You know, hey,
It's the drive-through window that threw it.
It's not the person's
it's the
fault.
alligator's
Yeah.
fault.
Gosh, I always wonder, because the last time I was down in Florida, there was an just outstanding number of alligators everywhere. Like anything that was like there was a ditch or something, there's an alligator in it. You looked out, there's alligators sunning themselves out. So I mean, there's literally ammunition everywhere. So I mean, if you are down there and you just like a normal Florida person, just riddled with syphilis, losing your mind, you've got nothing else to do, and you're trying to pay in alligators. So that's just how it goes down there.
I think so.
Thanks for the hot take, Tim. Thank you for the hot take. Let's go ahead and move into our next story. Ethan, take us away from Florida, unless you got another Florida story.
Nope. Police
Nope. Denied.
Police stopped truck for going too slow on Pennsylvania Turnpike, and they find over 500 pounds of marijuana inside.
Yes.
Mount Pleasant Township in Pennsylvania. State police find over 500 pounds of suspected marijuana inside a vehicle that was pulled over for traveling at an unreasonably slow speed on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, according to a criminal complaint.
Bet he felt like he was going fast.
Gotta be real careful, man. Stay within those lines.
Stay within those lines. I'm just flying, man. I'm just flying.
The box truck was stopped Thursday afternoon for going 40 miles per hour in an area where the speed limit is 70 miles per hour in Mount Pleasant Township, Westmoreland County, police said in the complaint. A probable cause search was conducted of the box truck, Trooper Ryan Marmol wrote in the complaint. A small amount of suspected marijuana was located in the cab of the box truck, and approximately 510 pounds of suspected marijuana was located in a crate that was inside the cargo area of the box truck. All evidence was seized and entered into evidence.
Can you imagine, like, shortly after this happens, all of a sudden marijuana is legalized in the state?
Yeah.
But you just happen to get slammed with 500-something pounds of marijuana
Would that be
a week before.
How would that work? Would they reduce the sentence?
I don't know. I think
That'd be
once
weird.
you...
That brings to mind to think about like prohibition, like people who would illegally like sell alcohol or
I
produce
feel like
it.
he would still be in trouble because I think in states where it is legal or it's legal for you to grow it, you're limited on how much you can have.
Right.
And he was 510
Yeah.
pounds is a stupid amount.
that
And so
That is a large
that
amount
would be-
of marijuana.
But
marijuana.
No, I wasn't doing that.
That's what you did.
I was
That's
not.
what
That
you
is
did.
not what I did.
Yeah,
I just
it is.
Was that the Batman?
No, that's not what I did.
anyways, the driver identified as Mark Joseph Doyle, 63, of Yakuts, Oregon, Yachats.
Your chats.
All right. Well, it was
Yeah.
charged. He was charged
I
with
did not do it. I did not do
was
that.
charged with a felony drug count of manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to manufacture or deliver, and a misdemeanor possession charge, according to the complaint. That's just like thrown on top, like just
Insult
all
to
this stuff,
injury.
and they're just like, oh, we'll throw it in there. An online docket shows that bail was denied for Doyle, who is being held in the county prison while he awaits a preliminary hearing in front of District Judge Roger Eccles on February 28th. The docket does not list an attorney for Doyle.
Let's see, 500 pounds of marijuana. You raped someone, right? Yeah, you raped someone. All right, well, we're gonna put you down for that too.
I'm just going to jot that down here in
add
my
that
little
on.
notebook so I don't forget. Let's see. Drugs, manslaughter, rape. Yep. All right in. Slides right in.
Dive on in.
What?
What?
You say dog holding?
Dive on in.
Oh, dive all in.
dive on
It
in.
makes more sense than dog holding,
Dog holding.
which I'm sure is a competitive sport someplace.
Probably.
Somewhere.
Probably in
hold
Florida.
this dog.
Sounds
yeah.
like Amsterdam would have that or something.
Yeah, they've got, I mean, what? It's just nothing but tulips.
No, that would be a
and-
Japan thing.
and
Hold
bicycles.
this dog.
Oh, yeah, that would be just while someone screams at you and like a whole crowd goes wild and you're just sitting there holding a dog and they're just clapping and everybody's all ecstatic.
Poop, poop, lost.
Oh, poop rock.
What was it? We were
Robot chicken.
there was a there's a Japanese game show where they go into your apartment and they take something in your apartment and they make a replica, like exact replica, but they make it out of chocolate, and you have to find that thing. But the thing is you're only allowed to check with your mouth. So you're going around your house thinking you're finding things and then putting it in your mouth, and it's not chocolate. You just put something weird in your mouth. But like it turns out there's like videos of people getting it right, and it's like their doorknob has been turned into chocolate or their shoes have been turned into chocolate. And they can't tell the difference until it like breaks off, and they're like, "Yeah, I found the chocolate."
I feel like with Japan, it would have to be like, you can't find it, and you're like, okay, well, what is it? And they're like, oh, it was your wife's underwear.
Yeah, I know that would be.
And he's like, whoa, just-
That was like a perfect impersonation of what it would be like too. Whoa! Oh gosh. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first beer of the night.
So this one is from New Glarus Brewing Company, which is a brewery based out of Wisconsin. It's called the Spotted Cow, and this particular brew, and I don't, is it the case with all of them that you can't get any of their beers outside of Wisconsin, or is it just like this one?
That's the only one I know of.
Okay,
But, you know.
but
Yeah.
but anyways, at least with this one, you can't get it outside of Wisconsin.
Right.
So if you would like to try it, you gotta do a little bit of driving.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I heard Wisconsin's nice. I've been to Wisconsin. Yes,
been
Wisconsin is nice. I've been to Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, well, you've been.
Which is super, super nice. Actually went up to a concert up there, and I talked to the bassist of the band, and she gave me Smarties.
Smarties.
Yes, she
Yeah.
had her pockets just Grace.
Oh.
You ever heard Grace Potter and the Nocturnals?
Nope.
They're like anyways. They were a relatively new band, and my buddy really enjoyed them, so we went up to go see him. And the bassist, I was just blown away by, because for some reason, I just love bassists. So, looking at you, Jared.
Yeah. They,
But no,
Oh,
I was talking to her after the show, and she handed me a bunch of Smarties, and I was like, "What do I do with these?" And she's like, "I don't know, eat them." I was like, "Okay."
what
I don't
else
really
are you
like
gonna
Smarties.
do with them?
Smarties.
Were they
Anyways,
in
that's
the
a
package still? Or
Yeah, they were
just
still
loose?
they were in the package. They were in the package still. She apparently really enjoys Smarties. So, what kind of
An addict.
gross human being enjoys Smarties?
But
Anyways, going
yeah.
back to this beer, so it definitely has a straw, like a pale straw color. Has a moderate head on it. There's not really a lot of aroma on it. Tell us a little bit about the beer, a little bit more about the actual specific beer.
They say that cask conditioned ale has been a popular choice among brewers since long before Prohibition, and they continue to describe this as we continue this pioneer spirit with our Wisconsin farmhouse ale, brewed with flaked barley and the finest Wisconsin malts. We even give a nod to our farmers. Naturally cloudy, we allow the yeast to remain in the bottle to enhance fullness of flavors, which cannot be duplicated otherwise. Expect this ale to be fun, fruity, and satisfying. You know you're in Wisconsin when you see the spotted cow. So again, the style is a naturally cloudy farmhouse ale.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor they describe as fun, fruity, and satisfying.
Slimy.
Slimy.
Yet satisfying.
Yeah, slimy. Pairings, they give a bunch of different foods and cheeses, burgers, fries, barbecue, jambalaya, brats, all that good stuff.
jambalaya. Yeah, that's
It can be paired with pretty much anything.
It's definitely, I'd say probably one of the. It's a very unique taste. I don't know where to kind of put my finger on it. There's something that there's just this really not overpowering. It's very well. It's very balanced, but it's
super good.
It's a fruity note that I can't even put my finger on like what kind of fruit it is, because they're usually you would get a lot of the fruit, especially a lot of beers that we try. If there is any kind of fruit ingredients, and it's 90% on the aroma and not on the taste. Where this one there is the opposite. There's absolutely nothing on the nose, but that it's very very. It's, I guess not very, very fruity. It is a fruity taste, and it ends on a floral note.
There's a creaminess to it as well.
Yeah.
As far as the body of the beer reminds me of a Hefeweizen as far as the flavor and how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a hint of citrus there? Any?
Yeah,
there is.
Yep.
I think what we're tasting is it goes from a little bit of citrus to floral,
yeah.
and
But
that's
it's
why
not-
it's not that's why we can't really
Yeah.
pinpoint it, is because I think it's a little bit more on the floral.
It's not a real
And-
strong floral because I don't care for beers like that.
The
so-
flavor feels very consistent too,
All throughout.
from beginning to end to after, and then into the aftertaste. It feels very consistent.
And that's one of the things that really impresses me when a beer is so well balanced that you can pick it apart, but then you can still I can taste hops, but they're very restrained. So it's not like most beers that we have. We'll get obviously you'll get a front end taste of whatever it may be, and then you got your middle taste. Usually for me, middle and end usually just it ends on hops, ends on bitterness, and this one it just stays very consistent throughout. It's got a taste lingers about 6 to 7 seconds, on your mouth. It's got a great mouthfeel as well, so
For sure.
very very well balanced. I'd say really really great job on this beer. This is the Spotted Cow. I was actually looking at the bottle, looking and you reading about it, I was a little bit like meh, but
Yeah.
it was
I'd say out of the beers that we've done on the show, it's probably top 5 for me. Easily.
yeah, and it's just very impressive. I can't really place my finger on
That's how well balanced it
Yeah,
is. It's hard to
it's-
really distinguish
Yeah.
flavors throughout. Just
well, I mean, I can definitely but it's the fruit. I can't put my finger on what the fruit is, because I know you said Hefeweizen is usually banana and
It's always banana and clove.
banana and clove.
Always.
And usually banana has a pretty distinct taste that I can pick out, but this one it doesn't. It's I feel like citrus. I feel like that is probably where I would put it in the category of the most is a citrus.
Now, forget, did we at all bring out the color? Did we talk about that
Yeah,
yet?
we talked about the
Okay.
pale
Yeah,
the
straw.
straw color.
Sure. Okay. Just
There
making
is
sure.
there's one thing on our list that is probably not talked about a whole lot, but they're called phenols, and it has to do with the aroma section. There's esters and there's phenols. Well, phenols, it says that are detectable at very small concentrations and tend to show up as clove-like medicinal or smoky aromas. So probably what we're tasting at the end is the phenol, and then the esters are where the fruit comes in. So further, like I said, I don't know much. I've heard of the terms and a general idea of what they do, but I know that if I do a little bit more research and dive deeper, we can go and explain a little bit more for our next couple of beers and how more of the process goes into that to be able to kind of pinpoint.
Yeah. So what do y'all think on this beer? What would you give it a rating out of 5?
4.5.
I'd say 4.5 as well.
about 4.
4. So 4.25. So that's a really great rating. Man, just really great job. What is this again? Nuclearis.
Spotted
Nuclearis?
cow.
I think it's Glarus.
Glarus? Yeah. That's just.
He's some nuclearis.
I am not doing that. I am.
Oh man, this is more fun tonight than I've had in a while screwing with
I have
you.
not done that.
You're always the one that's like, ask a question, you're just like, nope, and cut you right off right there. You just stop this line of thinking. So right now, every time you piss me off, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's Jason. It's Jason.
Oh gosh, I'll just kind of have to lean into it. So, yeah, so definitely great job, Spotted Cow. I definitely recommend it for anybody. This one's going to be coming into season, so if you're up in Wisconsin, man, hit it up. You're missing out if you don't. So let's go ahead and get into our next round of stories. This one reads, the headline reads, "Man gets third testicle removed. Discovered it was his dead Siamese brother." A man who was born with 3 testicles had a very unpleasant surprise after getting his extra testicle removed last week. He learned that the presumed gland was, in fact, his dead and undeveloped conjoined twin.
Was there teeth?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
51-year-old James Wong from Eugene, Oregon, underwent an orchiectomy. Underwent an orchiectomy last Thursday, and surgery meant to remove his third testicle, which represented a risk of producing excess testosterone and causing health issues. Less than a week later,
You got a whole lot of tongue twisters in this story,
know.
man.
I got Mike Tyson up in here. Less than a week later, he received a call from the hospital telling him that the biopsy had revealed that his testicle wasn't what it seemed. They told me it had a tiny heart, a tiny brain, and everything else. I thought I just had 3 balls, but I was in fact a Siamese twin. Mr. Wong says he was surprised by the news, but that he was somehow aware of his brother's presence. In a way, I always knew I had someone by my side all the time. I think always unconsciously turned to him when I didn't have the
My
balls
nutbag.
to face my
I
life.
think it was more underneath than
Yeah.
beside, but
He's in a sweaty, damp, dark region. He is there for you, but just anyways. This isn't the first time that people have lived several years as individuals before learning they were conjoined twins. 4 other cases have been recorded in the U.S. alone over the last 20 years and over 20 other across the globe. But all of the cases involve people living less than 7 years without knowledge of the condition. Mr. Wong's case, therefore, stands out due to the age in which he learned about the existence of his twin. The unusual shape and location of his twin brother have also contributed to drawing a lot of attention and mockery on social media, making his story more public than most similar cases. Good job, Internet.
2 Wongs.
Oh, God.
Oh,
make it-
God.
No, boo.
That was a
It's a humping-
dad joke.
it's a humping
Boo.
thing.
From the wrong
That's-
side of the table.
I didn't even go there.
walking in
It's on
on
the same
Tim's
side.
turf.
It's on the same side.
I left that alone.
Same jeans.
Same jeans, same side of the table.
Man, just like the low-hanging sack, low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit, low-hanging twin, man. I guess-
Low-hanging
So by
twin.
removing
That's
that
it.
extra brain, is he like worse at math now?
I think he's still probably fairly good at math.
Probably
I think it's
better
safe
than
to
me.
assume that
So
he's better than most of us in math.
There's so many jokes to make about his last name. It's crazy.
What, Wong?
Yeah, like use it as the word wrong.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
if you ain't Wong, you ain't wrong.
No.
No,
my gosh.
that doesn't work.
No.
I literally took the joke that you said, and then you used it, and you shot it down
No,
immediately.
it's 2 Wongs don't make a right.
Oh,
That's what it is.
God, whatever.
Two
You know
walls
what?
don't make a
Let's
white.
let's just go on to the next story. Please take
Yeah.
us away.
Yeah, I got one for you. Granddad downs half a pot of paint, mistaking it for yogurt, and has no regrets.
Dang, dude. You got a little ways down there. Half of it. Wait a minute.
This doesn't taste like
Getting
strawberry.
slightly stoned off of this fumes from this yogurt.
A 90-year-old granddad has somewhat managed to drink half a can of paint with no adverse side effects whatsoever. Not only that, but whereas the rest of us might be feeling a little off color, he remains unfazed. Alex Stein from New York last week posted about her granddad, Bobby, who loves yogurt. Bobby had mistaken a can of mint green paint for his favorite food item and downed half of it. Alex discovered the half-empty can of paint, and Bobby, complete with mint green mouth, and posted a photo of him with the caption, "So my grandpa ate half a quart of paint today thinking it was yogurt."
Oh my gosh.
When I say he loves yogurt, he lives yogurt.
The yogurt life.
It chose me. My mom buys at least 7 quarts of vanilla Dannon yogurt a week. Alex added, "My grandpa has always loved entertaining people. He doesn't care whether people are laughing with him or at him."
I'm still wondering how he looked at that mint green
I
paint.
don't know. He couldn't taste. What makes you think he could see color?
True. True.
Everything's all the same to me. I'm just trying to get feeling again. I'm trying to feel something in this life.
Taking to Instagram to give his version of events, he wrote, "Apparently I ate paint this morning. Crap. Honestly tastes better than yogurt, so no regrets. Poison control laughed at me, but they said I'll be fine."
No regrets.
I don't understand. So, does it really taste better than yogurt?
He's 90. Who knows?
Now I want to know. Can we start that? It's like the new Tide Pod challenge.
The paint challenge.
Down.
Oh, yeah.
Just eat paint.
Would it be like half a gallon? What's a can? Isn't it go by the gallon, right?
I know you can get it in pints.
No, I can't remember what I just read because my reading comprehension has plummeted. So, did he say a pint?
Well, let me
Paint?
tell you about the things that you just said, Jared.
Remind me. I probably would end up doing this. Something stupid like this.
You know, it said he ate
Half a can.
half a can. So, I
So
mean,
we don't know.
we don't know. It could be a gallon,
Jeez.
could be a pint.
Could be a gallon.
This reminds me of
God,
It's
There
not going
was
to get
a-
old for me. It's just not.
could be a gallon.
There's this German guy named Heinz that I had worked with before at my old job, and he talked about how I guess in their garage they had a refrigerator in their garage, and their son, for some reason, had put excess like antifreeze in a Mountain Dew bottle and then just stuck it in the garage.
Oh.
And so he went, opened the
That's a
fridge,
prank.
saw Mountain Dew, and just took a nice big drink of it. Wind up having to get his stomach pumped.
Oh,
on.
I hear
jeez.
it's sweet, though.
It is very
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah,
That's what the
I want to
animals
find
chugging.
out.
I've never
Should have boofed it.
taste. Yeah, oh man,
Should have butt chugged that.
You never had a,
Boof
Do the
it.
do.
just a drop hit your lip and you're changing antifreeze?
No,
Yeah. It's very sweet.
is it?
Yeah.
I feel like you're trying to just tell me that you drank it before. And you're trying to hide it. Oh, just a drop that landed on my lips of antifreeze, and you've had that before, right?
And I'm normal.
I'm not.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Check
I'm
me
nothing
out.
wrong with me. I am a human being.
I'm not an animal.
That was good unison.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, like father, like son, for real that time. Gosh, all right, Tim, take us away to the next story.
Oh, I got a nice one here. It's coming in. It's Dallas news again. We're in we're in Texas.
Sounded so official there. It's Dallas news again.
I'm reporting. Texas grandma kills 12-foot alligator. Says
Gee, man.
she's finally avenged her miniature horse.
Miniature horse?
We got
I was
gators.
expecting dog, like my miniature pincher or something like
Was
that.
the horse the
horse.
one working at the drive-through at the last
Oh, yeah, that's
last
right.
episode?
It's like little Sebastian from Parks
Yeah.
and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Miniature horse.
That is one giant horse penis.
It's
Wait, what?
drag
From
the
Parks and
ground.
Rec. Remember when he's like Parks and Rec? He's like in the field and it like walks over and little Sebastian's sitting there, or he's in the cage, and who is it? Aziz and sorry,
Yeah.
I can't remember his character's name.
I don't.
Ted or Tom.
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 And
Haverford.
yeah, he's like they're just staring, looking at it. And he's like, "That's one massive horse penis." And it looks over and it's just hanging out. The snake juice logo that he's got on the horse.
That's what she's missing too, I think. It says the Texas great grandmother thinks she's finally gotten
awesome. Just leave it. Let it go. That's awesome.
on the massive alligator penis. I mean, that ate her miniature horse a few years ago. It took just one shot for Judy Cochran.
The last name like
Let
that.
that sink in. To dispatch the 12-foot, 580-pound gator at her ranch Sunday in Goodrich, the Houston Chronicle reported. We think this is the gator that ate our miniature horses several years ago. Cochran.
Horses?
Horse says, yeah.
She says horses. It's plural.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
You think you would just move your horses away from after the first one?
Shouldn't keep them in the same pen
I
as the
tried.
alligators.
Who just happens to be She's the newly elected mayor of nearby Livingston. As big as this gator was, he could have easily eaten it, she says. The pond where she killed the beast is the same one where grandson, now 5 years old, felled a gator 9 years ago.
Felled the gator?
F-E-L-L-E-D.
Wow, so he actually killed the gator.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird way of saying it.
Yeah.
Like a tree. Like standing upright.
He's
and
felled
not fell it.
felled the foul beast.
Polk County is one of only 12 in Texas with an alligator hunting license, she says, and its limits gave her barely a 20-day window to take care of the business. Permits and tags had to be procured, and hunters are mandated to first catch the animals on a hook.
Yeah, I've
Nice.
watched. You ever watch those gator hunting shows?
Swamp people.
Yeah, Swamp People.
Yeah, swamp.
And it's just
Hey,
like
damn gator.
that's all it is. It's just like
Jumping on or wrestling them.
no,
Yeah.
they're just sitting there. They pull them up on a string and then at like point blank with a rifle, just like and like pop them. But the thing is, just like it's the same like rinse and repeat. It'll just cut to the same people. It's like, and Tom's hoping that this season's gonna be a better season for him than last. And it goes up to Tom, and Tom's like, I hope this season is a better season than last. And then it goes cuts to him like a couple shots of them riding on that little airboat.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, and as we can see, it looks like some gator's taking Tom's bait. And it cuts to Tom, and he's like, man, looks like some gator took my bait. And then sure enough, he walks over, or floats over, pulls the thing out of the water, and then point blank with the rifle. And they're like, this season's turned out to be pretty good for Tom. And then it's, let's check on the other family, and then just rinse and repeat. It's the same exact thing over and over
Yeah,
again.
after
feel like
5
all
or 10
those,
minutes watching that, I'm pulling for the gators.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like all of those shows too, because they're trying to build suspense. They'll try to like cut to like commercial at some point where like the boat's like rocking a little bit or something,
Yeah.
and they're like, ah, and then they cut off mid scream, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's about to happen? And you get to see it, and then they're just like, oh man, we hit a rock.
Tom,
or
it's been
something
a
like
good
that.
season for Tom.
Someone in our family was compared to somebody on Swamp People,
Doesn't surprise me.
wasn't it?
You'll strike me as swamp people.
They've actually been called Swamp People before. So.
Not that I can think
There
of.
was a different guy. That guy. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
you're talking...
Not Swamp People, but oh my gosh,
Turtle Man.
Turtle
Guy down in
Man.
Kentucky.
Oh my
Turtle Man?
Yeah, I've actually seen him in person.
Oh,
He was at a restaurant and he was handing out brochures of himself.
what a treat.
Hey, you might recognize me. I'm Turtle Man.
Turtle
It's like,
Power.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank
my
you.
yell.
Please, sir, leave
Yeah.
me alone.
Whenever we play basketball, this family member of ours would. We were playing with a bunch of urban youths, or in community park, and they all called him. They all called him the Turtle Man. And they every time
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
like go to drive or make a shot, they'd be like, "Hey, Turtle Man!"
Yes.
It was fantastic.
You all leave rich, colorful lives. Let's go
Colorful
on.
for sure.
Let's
not
go
rich.
on to the next story, please.
From the intestines of a man pulled 2 kilograms of swallowed stones. The unnamed 54-year-old South Korean swallowed a lot of stones, wine corks, and coins weighing 2 kilograms. After that, his stomach swelled and severe pain began.
Yes, as normally does.
When the man went to the doctors, they immediately noticed his greatly enlarged abdomen, but they did not know what caused this because the patient did not mention that he had swallowed foreign bodies.
I'm surprised that the option wasn't just you're fat, because that seems to be the doctor's go-to for a lot of stuff. It's just like, you're not feeling good? Probably because you're fat. So if he came into me and he was like, man, I'm not feeling good, and be like, well, it's because you're fat.
Only after x-rays which showed that the entire intestine of the Korean was clogged with solid round objects, he admitted to the deed. He also
All
said
right, you got me. I ate a bunch
Fine.
of random stuff.
corks and rocks couldn't help it. He also said that he has long been experiencing a similar situation on the basis of nerves when he pulls in his mouth and swallows various small objects. Doctors even prescribed him soothing pills, but for some reason they did not work. It later turned out that the patient was suffering from a congenital disability due to his mental state. Surgeons first tried to remove foreign objects from his body through oh Lord.
Through the butthole.
Yeah. Oh my, I'm having a hard time tonight. That is through a thin tube inserted through the mouth.
Okay.
So
I heard gastrointestinal. I just figured we were going straight for the butthole. but-
gastroscopy, I guess. But it failed. Yeah, no, that failed apparently. In the first place, there were too many items. And secondly, they had penetrated too far into the intestines.
It's a claw game. It's a glorified claw game. So you drop the whole thing down, grab the item, pick it up.
Oh,
a
man,
little
I
bit,
missed.
and
There's
it
another
drops
quarter.
back in. Yeah.
Then there were thoughts to do an endoscopy through the rectum. There you go. Other side. But the idea
Can't
was
go through the
also
mouth.
immediately abandoned because of too many items. The next day, he underwent abdominal surgery, during which about 2 kilograms of various coins, traffic jams, as they describe, and pebbles were extracted.
And immediately went to the coin star.
The patient successfully underwent surgery and was discharged 9 days later.
Gosh.
Hit the jackpot.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially that is the human piggy bank. That is what a human piggy bank's like.
Well, it's
It's
going to
like-
pay off one day.
I'm pretty sure though, if you eat coins, you can you pass coins. So, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of work.
I wonder if he had enough in there to pay off the
Can you
surgery.
make change?
Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. I'll push out what I can. I can't promise exact change. What you looking for?
2 dimes a nickel for that quarter. Here you go.
Do you remember? Oh, do you remember that guy? Speaking of, because this dude was actually famous. He had the. I remember back when Guinness World Record had their own TV show. There was this guy who could regurgitate,
Yeah.
and he could actually. You could give him an assorted array of coins, and then he'd be like, "What do you want back?" And they'd be like, 2 quarters and a nickel. He'd be like, because he made this like weird scream when he did it. Because I don't know if you guys remember, he would scream, and then he would, sure enough, 2 quarters and a nickel. Like it was exactly what you asked for. And then he would do his little thing again where he'd swallow a fish and then.
Oh, yeah, I do remember
and
the
then he would
fish.
vomit the fish back.
Was
up.
that
Big time.
David Blaine learned that off of somebody as well. He learned how to he
did
would
that
swallow
too.
a fish.
Well, he's a time traveling demon, so I'm just assuming he
Warlock,
knows
right?
just about. Yeah, warlock.
Warlock,
That's correct. Do you remember that old YouTube video where it's the 2 guys in the alleyway and David Blaine keeps harassing him and won't leave him alone and keeps doing magic tricks on him and they're like, "You time traveling demon, leave us alone." And he's like, "Where's he's like, what are you drinking there?" He's like, "Orange soda." You know what else is orange? The guy's like, "I don't know, Cheez-Its." He's like, "Look in your cup," and he pours it out. He's like, "Cheez-Its! Cheez-Its!" Gosh.
But going back to the other guy you're talking about to make the change, did he do billiard balls
Yeah,
too?
he did billiard balls.
Oh my
This
gosh!
guy, there was a guy on, and it could
How
have been
do
the
you,
same
uh,
individual that did that.
Fit that
on
in your
the-
mouth for one.
Was on
swallow
America's
it.
Got Talent.
Oh, really?
You didn't. I don't know if you
I don't
happened to
ever watch that show. So
Okay, I happened to see it. It was one of the second season or third season, and he was doing all this stuff. He was making change. He would swallow like a number of coins, and they'd say, give me 15 cents. Just regurgitate it and pop it up there.
How
Oh,
is that?
it's
I just
incredible.
don't understand. Like, I mean, I get it. It's interesting. It's about as interesting as that guy. I don't know if you've ever seen that he eats hot dogs by putting one just like the tip of it in his mouth and goes and just inhales it, and then later on he like stops and goes and then like flies out of his mouth. But I mean, that's about as interesting as that. But
So
if
he
you're
gets
on,
all those men?
If you're on America's,
like
can
looking
you
in my
imagine
eyes.
it? Look at
Oh,
this could be you. I don't know. That'd be more scary if somebody did that.
He could
was
probably
like-
take on the squeeble.
Yeah, he could. I don't think anybody could take on a squeeble.
just like just kills him.
Yeah.
He tries to-
It's just like it's basically like a gunshot to the back of your mouth, just the brains.
Just like I
Out the
imagine
back.
you're like at a truck stop in the stall and you look over and it's like, I want your hot dogs here. Call this number.
I thought you were
it,
gonna, I
he's
thought
like,
you were
"So
gonna
what do you
talk about
got?"
a glory hole. And I was
And
like,
then
oh
you
no.
you hear in the stall next to you.
That's things like you call the number and like you're expecting something different. And he's just like, so you got ballparks? What you got? You got ballpark franks? Those are my favorite.
The nice
What do
New
we
York
got?
accent,
Yeah.
What do we got? Oscar Mayer, come on. What do you got?
What do you got? What do you got? What do you
Got a
got?
great big Nathan, you got the egg.
Yeah, so you gotta give me that
Nathan's hot
Give me
dogs.
that hot
I can
dog.
just imagine being the Just let's say the other guy does call the number and he does know the guy. You just can imagine being the other guy in the other stall. It's like pooping. Give me that hot dog. Give me that ball. Oh, jeez.
Pinch it off quick. We got to get out of here. But like, I just don't understand. That's not a. I mean, it is impressive. Okay, the fact that you can do that. Like, I get it. Not everybody can do it. It's not a talent.
I don't want to do it. But
That is not a talent. Like,
hey, if you can get paid, it's a talent.
no, but is he getting paid? Is he getting paid? Or, I mean, people
I mean,
that
on
worked
the
at
show,
freak
on
shows
TV.
got paid. Like, oh, I've got deformities and I'm a crab boy. Yeah, you got paid back in the day to
What
be a
is
crab
that
boy.
called? That disease?
The lobster hands.
Lobster hands.
Yeah, I have no
What
idea.
is that called, though? This is a weird name.
Lobsterectomy or whatever.
That's it. That's a technical name, but yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't understand it, especially if it's on America's Got Talent and everybody's just like, oh, that is, I would pay big money to see that. No, you wouldn't. I don't care who you are. You're not paying. If someone's like, yeah, come on down, see this guy shove stuff in his mouth and then vomit it back up. I'll be like, no, I'm good. Man, thanks, though. I appreciate it. Got them hot dogs?
You got
Anyways.
got the Nathan's hot dogs, eh?
Let's get into our last beer of the night.
Okay, so this next one is another one from Flat 12. This one is the Holy Cross Cherry Kolsch. Couldn't find it on their website, so I don't know if it's not yet being served in their bars or if it's maybe one they used to serve. But this one's a little bit of a description on the can here. It says a Flat 12 Holy Cross is a German-style Kolsch with smooth drinkability and a super refreshing real fruit finish, proudly brewed at Indy's historic Holy Cross neighborhood. But 5.2% alcohol. It's got a nice golden color to it.
Yeah, it's
It's
got that straw color. Had a nice moderate head on it. So, and the aromas on the nose, there's the cherry. You definitely get the cherry. It's the main thing that you smell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's unique. I wouldn't say, because it says that it has a nice fruit finish. I wouldn't say that it has that fruit finish. I think it's more of a hoppy finish, which...
Yeah, I would agree with that, definitely. I'm not getting a whole lot of cherry, to be honest.
It's like right off in the front, and it's very little.
Yeah, I don't think it finished. Usually Kolsch doesn't have like a strong finish. It tapers off.
Yeah.
Really, that's kind of what I've found to be for Kolsch in general. I do like the cherry. I've had some really bad experiences with cherry beer in general, but this, as most of them taste like medicine.
Oh, yeah.
This
but
one-
that syrup in there, they do not balance that well at all.
Yeah, but this is not bad.
It's
for
not
some
bad.
cherry
It is.
related.
Because I think it's, instead of using like grenadine or any kind of syrup based, I think this is like actual cherry, maybe cherry musts that are, being used during the brewing process. Because, I mean, you get the cherry aromas, you don't get it much on the flavor, though. And that's, I find with most beers when it comes to any kind of fruits, 90% of the time, where it's prominent in the beers and the aromas. But I mean, for the most part, I'd say it's a very drinkable beer. It is smooth. It does have a more carbonated mouthfeel. So, it's a little bit more, I guess, not necessarily smooth. I mean, it has a nice mouthfeel. It's just, it's more carbonated, and that kind of takes away a little bit from it.
Like in a negative way? You don't like the carbonation?
No, I mean, I think it just, I would like to see this, because the Spotted Cow had just a very smooth mouthfeel, and it kind of made, like, it enveloped your whole mouth and, kind of left a smooth residue behind where the carbonation kind of takes away from that. I think this beer would do well to have that same smoothness to it. I mean, it's still fairly smooth, but the carbonation definitely takes away from, and mixed with the hoppy end, or the notes that it ends on with the hops, it just kind of throws it off a little bit for me.
It could be because I've been drinking coffee on and on throughout the evening, but like I'm really having a hard time getting any cherry out of that. It's
I don't think there's much.
and I'm getting the hops at the end, at the middle and at the end.
But
But
in the beginning, there's a little hint.
Is there a little bit of it at the
cherry?
beginning?
Yeah, it's very, very, very slight.
Faint. Yeah, it's very faint, but
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
No, it's not horrible.
This is something. Once again, I think it's, for a light beer, it's pretty good. I would say it's something definitely a summer beer.
sure.
Once again, like for me, most beers, like you all always say, well, after you had a hard day working out in the field, you gotta have a nice beer. For me, I drink beers, since it's always like such a gamble. I hate spending money on beer
Yeah.
because either it's going to be great or you've got some mad scientist who thought that he can mix kitty litter and Tabasco sauce together to make a beer. And it's just, terrible spoiled hops, ingredients, getting that sweaty sock, taste from it.
A new description.
I'm
for,
so glad
Yeah.
we have that new description.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, learning what's behind it because I've had definitely those. What I always describe, I think, what marked as sweaty Scots, I always describe as skunky, like a foul BO beer.
taint.
And to hear that's like, no, that's not good. That actually means that your hops have been stored improperly. That's very interesting to hear. So,
I think kind of going back to the cherry taste. I know you all said something about hops, but I don't think there's very many in here. I think it is with beers like these, especially German beers. There's not a whole lot of hops. It's more yeast forward.
So we're just interpreting the flavor for hops.
Yeah, so you're getting. It doesn't have the exact information of how it's prepared, and
he thinks he's better than us.
but the
Think you're better than me?
but
got both your balls.
but the esters.
Both your nuts.
But the esters is cherry, and so it's usually from yeast.
Okay.
It's very yeast heavy, and that's why you get that specific mouthfeel that, like the same with the spotted cow, is like the stickiness
Yeah.
from it, which I'm trying to describe because we have sticky 4 and some sort of the mouth coating, but it was more not as dry
Mm-hmm.
as typical like German beers that we've had tonight. But it comes off as fruity in flavor, and sometimes you can't always figure out what it is, but we know what this one is. So it comes off, to me, pretty strong, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I wouldn't say especially compared to like the spotted cow, it's not as well balanced. I mean, it's still fairly well balanced. It's not like, blowing your socks off nasty. It's well, mixed together. I can kind of pick it apart and get, the different flavors and, find what I do and do not like about it. So to me, it's that, rates as a decent beer to me.
I'll say it's the best cherry beer I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah. Because I've had a cherry stout.
I think it's the only one I've had,
That
so
thing's
yeah,
like-
it's the best one.
I've had a stout that was cherry, and it was...
No bueno.
No, it was not good at all. I rarely throw out beer. I rarely dump it out, but that one, I got halfway through it, and I had to dump it. It was
Wow.
awful.
Well,
So it hurts me. to
So
do
what would
that.
you all rate this one?
I would say I'd give it a 3.
I'm right
Yeah,
there with you, a 3.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3
Same.
around. I mean, that's like
That's
I said,
solid.
it's just an average beer.
It's a C+.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's not terrible.
They
It's-
have better. They have a lot better
They
beers
definitely
there.
have a lot better. Flat 12 is, they set the bar super high with us when we got to go and
They did. Dylan gave us the best of the best.
And I think they had their best on tap,
yeah,
to be
and
honest
that's
with you.
Oh well, they didn't have Pinko.
Oh, that's true.
I still want to try that.
They
one.
ran out, though.
They ran out
So
of it.
that
They ran
means-
out of
so
it.
that means
This
it's
one
good.
wasn't on tap that night. I think one or two of the others that we tried. I think at least one of the others that we tried, maybe in the previous episode, they weren't on tap. Their best ones, you can tell they know which ones are the best ones.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Well, and it's like I said, I feel like they know what they're doing. Most beers, it doesn't seem like you're hiding any flavors behind bad ingredients or anything like that. So it seems like, most of their beers they have are really well rounded and quite well done.
And I think as a brewery, you would have to know that like some of your beers aren't going to be like home run hitters. You know what
Well,
I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
and this may be a home run for somebody,
right?
Right.
But
you're going to have some that sell better than others.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with taste and
Especially when you're trying to hit all the varieties.
Mhm.
You know,
And to be fair, a lot of breweries and people who make craft beer, they're not really uppity about it. They're like, we're going to try this, and if it works, great. If not, oh well, we tried something new and experiment. They're okay with the experimentation and really like criticism and get feedback from it, especially ones that are newer to the game. And if I can remember correctly, Flat 12 has only been in business really for less than 10 years.
wow.
So
that's pretty impressive.
yeah.
So they're growing quite a bit, and I wish the best to them. Hope they grow more.
Mhm.
'Cause they got some good stuff.
We'll definitely in the future have some more of those.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and
Did
see
they
that one.
say if they did growlers?
And not at Jeffersonville because they don't brew anything
Oh, that's
on
right. You
site.
can't serve growler. Yeah, that's right. You can't. I remember that now. You can't. They couldn't legally.
Right,
Yeah.
because they're not brewed on site. But
Wow, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know that. Learn something every day.
The more you know.
Laughs and drafts, edutainment.
edutainment.
Entertainment. Oh man, so it's been a full night of beers and stories, and gosh, it's a late one tonight. We're actually it's almost. I got an hour drive home after this, and you guys keeping me out super late tonight. You're gonna get me in trouble, man.
Man.
Man? No, I am not. I am not doing that.
Get me in
accent.
trouble, man.
Get me in trouble, man. Gosh. This is going to haunt my dreams. See, I don't mind it when I'm doing it on purpose, but now when I'm like not doing it, I'm just being accused of doing it all the time.
Hey.
I'm like, what's going on? But anyways, like we do at the end of every episode, you can find us on Spotify and on iTunes. Please go like, subscribe, leave a comment. It really means the world to us and helps us, get our show a little bit more visible to others.
Check us out on Facebook, Laughs and Drafts.
We are on Twitter at Laughs and Drafts, and also on Instagram at Laughs and Drafts Pod. We have a lot of good stuff on there, so check it out.
You can find us on patreon.com at Laughs and Drafts and on Reddit at Laughs and Drafts as well.
Yeah, so tons of ways to contact us. Come on there, tell us how great Ethan smells, because man, you can. He's got a
terrible.
smell. No, it's a man. It's a musk. Draws you in. To tell you this one thing I enjoy every week coming in and sitting next to Ethan, and our thighs touching because we're both large men.